and they stay there.
Gonna, get in the way of the 415 Minder. That's absolutely unfortunate for him. Looks like Paul Hollander, is going to take the win here tonight. Minder right behind him. And that's what Parker did there. As they come across the line, it should be Minder. It's your round 2 winner. Alright, good evening everyone. Welcome to round 3 of the iRacing Short Course Regional Series. We're here tonight at Crandon International. It's looking like got 15 drivers in already. About another 8 minutes left to warm up here before we rack them up and turn them loose again. So with that, thanks again for tuning in. Alright, we got about 10 more minutes worth of practice here before we head into qualifying. Last week it was a 4:15 of Crandon Minder who brought home the win at Bark River. He put on a great performance there. Behind him was Crystal King and Parker. So they're coming off of a great performance. Looks like Crystal King is in tonight. Minder, I saw him. Parker, I'm not seeing him yet. So hopefully he's able to join. Paul Hollander, who was your round 1 winner, he's back in. Unfortunately, he missed last week, so that's going to kind of hurt him in the points, but hopefully he's able to overcome that. And also in round 1, Crandon Minder came in second in that one, followed by Nicholas Dachalet. So far it's 2 different rounds, 2 different winners, so it's going to be interesting to see if we're going to pick up a 3rd winner tonight. As we got just a few more minutes to go until we start qualifying. And while we wait, we'd definitely like to thank Factory Sim Sport for helping us out financially with this series. Anyone who's looking to get into the off-road trucks or have been running the off-road trucks for a while, they offer some outstanding coaching and some pretty competitive vehicle setups. So if you're struggling to kind of get your racecraft down or looking for a good setup to go run, check them out. They're pretty rock solid and great to work with. And we definitely want to thank them for their support in this series. And speaking of iRacing Short Course Series, 7 o'clock on Wednesday, the 2021 Summer Series is going back to Bark River for round 9, and that's going to be shown on the iRacing Short Course YouTube channel. So be sure to bookmark that and tune in on Wednesday, 7 o'clock Pacific time. Alright, we got about a minute left of warm-up here. The drivers are going to go ahead and get their last couple laps on in before we start qualifying for tonight's event. It's looking like, by my count, we got 19 cars in this, so I would not be surprised if we did 2 heat races, an LCQ, and then roll right into the feature. So should be a quick night, and hopefully it'll be action-packed as the first 2 rounds have been. It makes for a fun race to call on my end, so that is what we're going for. So while they get this come through the last couple turns, let's take a look at last week's race, last couple laps in this last week's race recap. Looking at Nelson right now. Dusty behind him. James Burke currently sitting 8th. Looking to move up a spot if he can. Dashalet still sitting 9th. Ashlock 10th. And then after that, Donahue, Hansen, Daniels, Clifton. But right now, we'll jump on board with Minder. I have a feeling he's just going to show us how to drive this thing. Because I don't think I've really seen a mistake out of him tonight. Looks like back here. Battle for 3rd. Sherlock, Parker, Tyler. Not much has changed, but they're not letting each other out of their sights. So with that, this should be the final lap. Minder's got the lead. King's 2nd. Sherlock currently sitting 3rd. Parker trying hard to score a podium back here. Let's see if he's able to make something happen going into this section of the track. Ooh, a little bit of a push. Looks like Parker's going to be able to take it. Does Titus have anything to answer back with? That was phenomenal. Just real, I wouldn't classify it as rough, but just, yeah, I mean, when you gotta make a pass, you gotta make a pass. And that's what Parker did there. As they come across the line, it should be Minder. It's your round 2 winner, King, Parker. So some great action last week for sure. Hopefully, like I said, it continues into this week. As of right now, our top qualifiers, Nicholas Dashalet with a 44.72. Behind him, Brock Smith. Crystal King actually dethrones Dashalet with a 44.68. So she is going to be quick tonight. Not sure what's going on with the paints. Let's see if I can get that corrected. There we go. But let's see. Brock Smith sitting 3rd with a 44.82. Minder a 45.04. Looks like Paul Hollander just jumped up there also with a 44.86. So it's going to be fun tonight for sure. Let's see if there's anyone still out there putting in some laps. Looking at Chris Newer in the 00. His best tonight is a 46.23, which was his last lap around. See Titus Sherlock in the 6th spot, 45.09. It's like Dusty's still out there trying to get a good solid lap in there. Currently sitting 7th with a 45.18, so not that far off the pace. Looks like Austin's still parked on the side. Chris Newer, 16th with a 46.23. So it looks like Dusty's just trying to get this last lap in. Looks like Dusty's been running pretty well. Looks like last week he finished 7th, which is pretty good considering that he started 12th. So definitely made some improvement throughout the race. So he's got the speed. It looks like Dusty's going to pull off there. So that's going to more or less wrap up qualifying. So they should be gridding here soon. And while we wait for that, we'll take a quick break here. Well, it's looking like Nicholas Dachelet is pretty much wrapped up qualifying. He's just trying to get an extra lap in. Probably trying to just find that line, get a good feel for the truck before tonight's racing. But yeah, we got about 2 more minutes before the session expires and we move on to Heat 1. So out of the heat races tonight, top 2 will advance, depending on how many vehicles we have, which, looking at the turnout, probably will have 2 heats tonight. So yeah, like I said, top 2 will advance, and then we'll move to a last chance qualifier, which will round out the field. If they take the top 2, then it should be top 12, if my math is good. I'm not very good at doing math on the fly, so bear with me if that's off. But the 92 is looking good tonight. Alright, and with that, looks like heat number 1 is going to be called to the track as they line up down there. So 6 laps are going to make up each heat race. Like I said, top 2 are going to advance. As of right now, it's looking like, let's go ahead and bring up the grid. So Crandon Minder, Brock Smith, Crystal King, Dusty Ladner, James Donahue, Michael Candy, James Burke, Grant Wesley, Paul Smith, and Jeff Daniels will make up Heat 1 here. So here in a minute, they're probably going to be turned loose. So we know they're going to be turned loose. They'll come down the straight right, right in front of us, and we'll see who's going to be able to grab that hole shot, maintain the lead, and walk away with a heat win. And again, while we wait for the green flag to fly here, just want to give another shout out to Factory Sim Sport again for all the support they have provided iRacing Short Course, putting on the regional series. Like I said, it's support like the support they give that is the reason why we're able to do what we do here at iRacing Short Course. Looks like we're about to go green here. And they're off. Let's see if we can keep it clean through here. Looks like it's getting squirrely early. Not sure what's going on with the cameras. That's a new problem. And looks like we're back. Apologize about that. I'm not sure what happened there, but Crandon Minder's out front with looks like James putting the move in there, trying to make something happen early. Crystal King right behind him. So Crandon's going to maintain it. So we got an early decent battle here for first. Although James, I'm sure, is going to be wanting that transfer spot. And that's who we're looking at right now. Let's go and jump on board with James. Currently about a half a second behind her as he closes that. Trying to take a peek there on the inside. Really nothing there. So he's just going to be patient. Wait for another opportunity to open up. Got Paul Smith sitting fourth. Jeff Daniels in fifth. Behind him, Grant Wesley. Back up front here. Looks like Crystal King has managed to get around Crandon. Let's go back and take a quick look at that. Looks like Crandon just kind of got pushed a little wide there. And she's able to capitalize on that. So looking back up front, Crystal King extending her lead out just under a second. Crandon and James. James still looking to take that last transfer spot away from Minder. And I have a feeling this is where the action is going to be tonight. Because if you can avoid going to that last chance qualifier, that's a big sigh of relief. So just over halfway here in Heat 1. Take a look back here at Paul, the number 5. About a second and a half behind them. He's just more or less pacing. He's trying to find the lines, seeing where these guys are faster, slower, and maybe just try to come up with a strategy for a little bit later on. But up front looks like Burke went a little wide there. He's going to lose a little bit of ground on Minder. But it looks like Crystal King is going to extend her lead. She's out dancing around 2 seconds ahead of these guys. So she's up 2 spots from the start, so great start for the night for Crystal. Right behind her is Minder, with Burke still knocking at the door, trying to make something happen. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Looks like they're going to be able to recover, keep it clean as they go into the final lap here. So really the big question for Heat 1 is Burke going to be able to get around Minder? But coming to the line, Crystal King showing the boys how to do it. Take a look back here real quick. See what's going to happen. But Crystal King is going to be Heat 1 winner, followed by Minder. And unfortunately, we will see Burke again in the LCQ, but he's got to be proud of that performance that he put on. So with that, that will wrap up Heat 1. Looks like Paul Smith is going to take 4th, and unfortunately I did not get a chance to see the rest of the field. We'll take a look at Heat 2 gridding up right now. And this one here, it's going to be Titus Sherlock, Paul Hollander, Nicholas Dachelet, Cole Ashlock, Austin Bolson, Caleb, Devin Nelson, Chris Newer, Terry Bowman, and Connor Berry, who's actually adminning tonight. And he does a great job keeping track of the field and keeping everyone in line. So with that, looks like most everyone's on the line. And they'll be turned loose here in just a second. We'll definitely keep an eye on the number 8 of Paul Hollander. He unfortunately missed last week, like I said, but he won round 1, and I have a feeling he's going to make his presence known here tonight as well. Nicholas Dachelet, another top name in this heat. Cole Ashlock, we've seen him up top. So with that, looks like they're about to turn him loose. And we are green flag here for heat number 2. come through a line. Looks like a pretty clean start. Looks like Titus showing out front with timing and scoring. Behind him, Paul Hollander, and then the 25 of Bolson. But what looks to be a good clean start. This looks like the 4 and the 8 get into it there. Hollander and Ashlock just kind of making each other known. Ooh, looks like a big push from Cole. Let's go see if we can see what happened there. Looks like just got pushed wide. Very unfortunate. But out front, the 500 of Sherlock. Bolson right behind him, just under a second. And then Hollander lurking in third. Looks like Cole's gonna rub fenders with him again. So Paul's just going to kind of patiently wait for an opportunity here. Nelson as well. It's like Nelson's up 3 spots from the start, his last lap around. Yeah, that was the start, so don't really have a good lap time yet. Looks like a little bit of contact there, as Ashlock's looking to make his presence known there on the number 12. But up front, it's the number 25 of Bolson right behind Sherlock. We're about halfway through Heat 2. Again, top 2 will advance. So that means that Paul Hollander right here is just 1 out of transfer. Probably going to try to put some pressure on Bolson. But it really looks like Titus Sherlock's been uncontested pretty much this entire heat. He got out of front, got a nice cushion, and is just going to ride it. So his last lap around with 44.7. Looks like back here, got a decent battle for second. Looks like 4 cars in the mix for this one. Looks like Hollander was able to get around Bolson. Let's see if he's able to keep it. Nelson's able to get around Ashlock. And we got 2 more laps here. Paul and Austin are gonna probably need some paint touch up at the end of this heat. It's like Ashlock's gonna try to make or defend that position from Caleb. Looks like a little bit more contact there. Cole's gonna check up, let him get straight. Up here though, looks like the 8 of Hollander is still trying to fend off Bolson. As we are in the final lap. Titus just pretty much running his race at this point right now. He's been clean and smooth. Let's see if Bolson's going to be able to steal that transfer spot from Hollander. As we come to the line, Sherlock's going to take the win with Paul Hollander taking second. And then Austin Bolson, Devin Nelson, Cole Ashlock, Caleb Schellingberg, Chris Newer, and Terry Boomin. Boomin? Terry. We'll go with that. So great race. Let's see if we're going to have a Heat 3 if there was enough drivers for that. And nope, we're going right into the LCQ. So they're going to go ahead and grid up for that one. So for the LCQ, we got Devin Nelson, Paul Smith, Austin Bolson, James Burke, Jeff Daniels, Cole Ashlock, Grant Wesley, Caleb, Dusty Ladner, Chris Newer, James Donahue, Terry Buman, and Michael Kennedy, Nicholas Dachelet, Brock Smith will round out the field. So it looks like we're about to go green here. If my math is correct, top 14 will advance out of this. Looks like a pretty clean start so far. Some banging though. Ooh, someone getting sideways. Looks like they're able to recover pretty well. Looks like the number 7 of James Burke is out front leading this. Chris Newer, Paul Smith, James Donahue behind him. As they kind of jostle, figure out their running order. It's like for the most part everyone's able to make it clean. Like Donahue's gonna try to make a move over Bolson. So we got 16 drivers in this LCQ, so 2 of them unfortunately are going to be going home tonight. Yeah, actually I take that back, I apologize. One is the admin, Connor Berry, so it looks like just one person is probably not going to make the show tonight. Right now it looks like it's the 95 of Caleb. Oh, I've still got time and scoring bouncing around, so we'll check back in that one here in a little bit. See, we got... It's like the battle for 5th between Nelson and Kennedy. So they're fighting for 5th right now, as Dusty and Cole are closing the gap as well. We are already on the final lap here. So wait for time and scoring to kind of figure it out. James Burke's gonna win this one here if he can keep it nice and straight, which he has had no problem doing all night. James Donahue right behind him. Chris Newer sitting 3rd. So with that, James Burke, the number 7. is... Oh, we got one more lap around. I got faked out there. My apologies. Yeah, unfortunately, with the timing and scoring software on these short 4-lap races, there's so much jostling around. Sometimes, depending on who I'm looking at, I'll get a different lap count. But James Burke is going to win this one, it's looking like. Donahue right behind him. Chris Newer in third. And then Devin Nelson, Michael Kennedy, Cole Ashlock, Dusty Ladner, Nicholas Dochelet, Grant Wesley, Jeff Daniels, Austin Bolson, Terry Buman, Caleb Schellenberg, Brock Smith will round out the field. So with that, they're going to be allotted about 5 minutes to work in the track before we go green for tonight's main event. So earlier in the week, I had a chance to sit down and chat with Nicholas Dochelet, and had a great chat with him, and he's going to be the feature of tonight's driver profile.
Hello, everyone. I'm sitting here with Nicholas Dochelet. He drives the 92 truck in the regional series. So, Nick, how's it going this afternoon?
It's going pretty good, really.
Right on. Well, hey, I just want to kind of pick your brain, just kind of get a sense on how you feel the season's going so far. Round one, you placed third. Bark River last week. Unfortunately, you took that ninth, but man, you were in second place pretty much for the majority of that race. It just looked like you cut that corner a little too tight. So just kind of curious, how you're feeling kind of going on throughout the season.
Well, I feel like my season's been I've been fast every week. First round, I was super excited to get up on the podium. That was my first ever career podium in any iRacing series, and that was pretty cool. I felt like I let that one get away. I felt like I had the faster truck, but props to Chaden and everyone. And then Bark River, I hanging around in second for a while, and then I think it was Crystal got around me, and I just started slipping back a little bit. And then when Titus got around me, I kind of just tried, sent it up the inside, and I just cut a little short, kind of did a 180, and then just kind of chilled back in ninth. My truck was damaged. So all in all, I think it's been a very good season. Bark River was not my best track. It's not my best track, but I'm glad that we're going to be going to Crandon, I've had a lot of practice on that track, so I'm hoping that goes well.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious, how did you even get into iRacing? Kind of what's the history? What kind of brought you to this point?
Well, I've played the NASCAR video games growing up, the racing video games, and then I kind of just got into more computer sim, and then I finally got enough money to buy a computer that was able to run racing, and from there I just hit the ground running, basically. Just kind of worked my way up, and then I found the iRacing Short Course Series, which has been awesome to run in. I enjoy it every week, and this regional series that you guys are putting on really helps me work on my consistency and all that stuff, and helping me run better on Wednesday nights as well.
I know we spoke briefly about your sponsors, and I'm just kind of curious how you got plugged in with Arrowhead Property Management and Koenig Paint, and I'm guessing just how are they supporting you throughout the season?
Well, they're all family sponsors. My cousin Sonny, he runs the the Arrowhead Tree Maintenance, and I've helped him out over the summers, and he's been helped. I asked him if I could put his logo on my truck, and he said go ahead, and he thinks that's awesome. And then my uncle is the one who runs the Honig Paint. He's been helping me a little bit with the sim. He's been coming over, testing, telling me what I need to do differently and stuff.
With the regional series being kind of, one to help people kind of launch in the off-road short course series and kind of work their way to a Wednesday series. Kind of what have you done to kind of help build yourself? I guess a better way of asking this is, kind of what tips or tricks do you have for people that are, kind of watching, wondering if they can do it and kind of get to the level where you're at?
Well, I feel like I'm running one of the most basic setups you can run. Like I'm running it off of a $400, the cheapest gaming laptop that you could probably find at like Walmart. And I'm running it off of like a 22-inch smart TV screen. So that's my setup. And then I got the steering wheel probably costs about as much as my whole rest of my setup. So, I mean, I'm sitting on a metal folding chair. I don't have one of these big fancy rigs. I'm sitting there just set up on a desk somewhere, just trying my best. And I feel like the more you practice, the more you learn how to run your line. And throttle control has been a big key with me learning as I keep advancing. It's been really helpful, and I've gotten input from other racers in the series, and that has been very helpful.
Well, sweet. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us, and I, like I said, really look forward to seeing you throughout the rest of the season, watch you progress, and I'm pretty confident. I'd bet money on talking to you again on the podium. So, with that, thank you so much, and we look forward to watching.
All right, thank you. Enjoy it. I want.
Yeah, Nicholas Dauchelet, one of the nicest, most genuine racers I have had the opportunity to chat with. Just very professional, very fun to chat with. Learned a lot from him. So hopefully something we'll definitely do more of. Be able to sit down and chat with our favorite racers. So with this, looking at the 18-lap main event tonight, let's go back to the top. On the pole, Paul Hollander, Crandon Minder, Titus Sherlock, Crystal King, James Burke, James Donahue, Chris Newer, Devin Nelson, Michael Kennedy, Cole Ashlock, Dusty Ladner, Nicholas Dauchelet, and Grant Wesley, Jeff Daniels, Austin Bolson, Terry Bowman, Caleb, and Brock. So a good, solid field here. So 18 laps for tonight. A competition caution at lap 8. And 18 drivers make up the field. So while they go through their last checks, I'll give one more shout out to Factory Sim Sport, who has helped produce this series for the iRacing short course. And again, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, the 2021 Summer Series Pro 4 Series is going to hit Bark River for round 9. And Mason Prater is currently your points leader in that series, so definitely check that out. That's going to be on the iRacing Short Course YouTube channel. So be sure to set a reminder and check that out. So I have a feeling that going through everyone's mind right now is just trying to keep it clean through these first couple turns and try to get out front, stay there, and just run good, clean, solid lines. Because at least the top 5 between Hollander, Minder, Sherlock, King, Burke, you got a pretty strong field here up front. Again, Hollander won the race in round 1. Minder took it home last week, so we're about to go green. Let's see if Minder can do it again. And with that, we are off. As we come into the first turn here, looking pretty clean for the most part. Ooh, I say that looks like the 00 of Chris Newer gets ugly. But out front, it looks like Hollander, Minder, Donahue, Sherlock, Burke. Looks like they're still going to try to kind of jostle here and figure out who's going to settle into where before we start seeing hopefully some passes made here. Like I said, 18 laps on the Crandon short configuration goes pretty quick. So right here it looks like Donahue, Sherlock. Burke's trying to get in there as well. Now they are side by side coming out of that turn. So we come into the gravel pit here. It's like Crystal King's currently running 6th. Right behind Burke, looking for an opportunity. Dasha Lett in the 92 right behind them. Gonna look for something as well. But jumping up front, got quite the battle for third. Donahue, King, Sherlock, Burke, and Dasha Lett. It's like King's gonna give Donahue a little bit of a push. Looks like Titus poking on the inside. But jumping up front, looks like Paul Hollander's put out a good minute-and-a-half lead. So he's looking pretty solid. Minder right behind him. Then we got James Donahue doing everything he can to hold on to that third spot. King on his inside. Sherlock still back there. Burke, Dasha Lett, all looking to walk away with the podium tonight. Ooh, looks like Sherlock got a little ugly on that entry. He's able to recover. Looks like they're going to walk away okay with that. King still working that inside, not allowing Sherlock to have that position. Although, looks like Sherlock's going to push her a little bit wide. And he's going to be able to take that position away from her. Let's see if she's able to answer back. As, whoo, Sherlock throws it in there. And he's going to, unfortunately, lose a spot or two. It's like Donahue's still has a little bit of breathing room. They're only about a half a second behind him, so I'm sure he's watching this all unfold in his mirror. Doing everything he can to keep that distraction behind him. But the action right now is definitely between fourth all the way through, looking like 7th. We got about 2 more laps here until we go under caution. It's like Titus going to work the inside again. Burke is going to have to kind of check up, try to drop down inside. Looking at Brock Smith, currently sitting 8th in the 46 machine. Dusty right behind him in the 20. And then Wesley rounds out the top 10. But I'm not going to lie, it's hard to look elsewhere when you got King, Sherlock, Burke, and Dachalette all trying to make something happen. Ooh, looks like the number 5 of... Is that Dusty, maybe? Although he's showing 20 on timing and scoring. Kind of throw you off. But Dachalette currently sitting 7th. Up 5. I think he kind of had a unfortunate incident in the heats. It's like King and Donahue. We're going back and forth there for a second. Sherlock's going to try to work that inside again. See if he's able to make that work. And with that, we are under caution. So Paul Hollander, that number 8, has been pretty much unchallenged throughout this race. Minder, pretty much the same story right behind him, but between King, Donahue, Sherlock, Burke, and Dachalette, that's where the action's been in round 3 here at Crandon. Let me try to real quick while we are under caution. I know the points were put out just recently. So Minder's got the points lead with King 6 points behind him, and Dachalette 11 points behind Minder as well. So between Minder, King, and Dachalette, it's going to be a fight to get those points because not much separates them. So it looks like a few drivers are going to get their laps back as they kind of stage there on the back stretch. And then they'll be turned loose once they go across the finish line there. We'll go back under green and see what happens for the remainder of this round. So far, like I said, there's been no lack of excitement, especially for that pretty much continuous battle for third. So with that, looks like they should be getting ready to go green here again. Alright, looks like Paul's been given the green light. Yep. Minder's going to follow him. King is going to keep them very close as we're about to restart for the second half of the main event here. 8 more laps to go. Minder and King more or less fighting over points. Dachalette looking to get back in the points battle. Dachalette's currently sitting 7th. So with that, we're going to go one more time around. Oh, we are green. My bad. I messed up there. That was my bad. So we're back under green. Hollander's going to maintain that lead. Looks like Minder's going to shoot down. Oh, Hollander's... Is he going to be able to get the drive out of there? Not sure. A little bit of contact in the air. Looks like both drivers are able to maintain control. King sitting there in third. I'm sure watching, seeing how this is going to play out. But looks like Paul's going to be able to secure that top spot for the time being. Minder's going to be lurking as well. King's going to be applying some pressure. Dachalette's able to get around Smith, get up to 6th. So Minder's just giving it everything he's got, just kind of diving low there. But Hollander's able to get a good drive out of that turn. Looks like King's going to be pushed a little bit wide there. The question is she going to be able to get a drive? Although it looks like Minder kind of pushed her a little bit wider than she wanted to go. And it looks like Burke's trying to get in there as well. Titus on the outside. And looks like Titus is going to be able to make that pass stick. Pushed a little bit wide, but looks like no harm, no foul. King's on the brakes. Not sure what's going on. Ooh! Burke's upside down. Although he's able to recover. Not sure what happened there. So that is very unfortunate for James, who's running really well. So King's sitting third. Sherlock and that 500 machine's going to look for an opportunity as we're coming down to just a few more laps. But while all this is going on, Paul Hollander, it's pretty much his race. Got about a 2.5 second lead over Minder and King. And this is what smooth and consistency looks like right here. But jumping back down here, looks like Titus is looking to close that gap again on King. Dachalette's up to 5th, although he's pulling into the pits. Not sure what's going on there. That's unfortunate. He looked like he was doing well. Must be a mechanical or some sort of penalty. Let's see. We got Nelson back here in the 12, sitting 8th. Dusty giving him some pressure. Newer's well in this. Caleb. Ooh! It's like Bolson ended up upside down. Let's see what happened there. Oh, switch. Alright, we'll go back live to Hollander, who's leading this race. Minder and King. And now we got Smith in the 46 up to 4th. We got Grant sitting 5th. But not sure what happened to Sherlock. Let's go back and see if I can find what happened to Sherlock. Not seeing anything in the events. So yeah, that's going to be, unfortunately, a mystery there, but coming down to the last couple laps, Hollanders is putting on a clinic tonight. Pretty much been uncontested this entire round. Got just about a 3-second lead over Minder. King and Smith looking to maybe make something happen late here, but they're quickly running out of time. As we are on the last lap here. Looks like Smith is going to apply some late pressure. See if he's able to make something happen here on the inside. Nope, Crystal King is just running her line. So with that, looks like Paul Hollander started this race first and is going to end it in first. So Paul Hollander is your round 3 winner. Minder and King are going to round out your top 3. Then with that, looks like Smith, Wesley, Nelson, Burke, Ladner, Kennedy, Sherlock, Newer, Donahue, Ashlock, Doshalet, Bolson, Caleb, and Jeff Daniels, with Terry Buman rounding out the field. So looks like we got a few looking to finish here. So let's go ahead and get some of these drivers in the booth, because I am eager to get their point of view. And while we wait for them, we'll have a quick commercial break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher tonight, Crystal King. Crystal, I feel like we just chatted last week, and we see you up here on the podium again. Some great action back there with you and Titus for the longest time, and then Smith putting on some late pressure there. Take us through those last couple laps. What was going through your mind trying to keep all those distractions behind you?
Honestly, there was a lot going through my mind. There was a lot going on for a lot of laps, and I was just like trying to focus on second place. Freaking Paul was killing it. He was just out there by himself, and I'm just at this point I'm just focusing on P2, and I couldn't get it, but it's all good. I'll take it there. That was freaking wild out there. I bet it was good to watch.
It was a blast to watch, and it was great to call the action. It's like I said, it was great watching your lines develop and just how clean you run, and you're a professional. It's fun to watch. So definitely with that, I'm sure you have some people you want to thank, and I look forward to seeing you continue through round 4 and the rest of the season.
Thank you. I've been putting in a lot of work here lately, thanks to my boys at Factory Simsport. Keaton Swain's been helping me out a lot, and Luke Nubb, Chris Plumley, Tyson Miller, And shout out to Bryce Simoneau, big ol' shout out, and Josh Edmondson at Boars, and my Twitch viewers and my mods and everyone that supports. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, I have a feeling we'll be chatting with you again soon. You have a good evening.
Thanks, you too.
All right. I am not seeing Crandon Minder in the waiting room, which is unfortunate. I'm not sure if he's able to chat tonight. But what we will do is go to Paul. Paul, that was pretty much, a textbook race. You got out front in the heats. You dominated there. You pretty much put on a clinic during the main event. What's your secret? What can the others learn from you?
I guess get lucky on a good start and a good invert, I guess. I was P4 on the invert, so it put me starting on the far inside. And once I got out front, honestly, it was just I was lucky not to be in the mess.
Well, like I said, you showed us all what right looks like, and unfortunately, we missed you last week. Otherwise, I think you'd most certainly have the points lead at this point. But I'm eager to see how it progresses moving forward, and hopefully, you're able to kind of work back from missing that week and become a contender.
Yeah, it sucks I missed out last week, but I plan to try to be consistent and put in solid runs the rest of the season. So it should tighten up a little bit.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm sure there's probably some people you want to thank for making this possible, so I'll let you go ahead and do that. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you next week in round 4.
Yeah, I got to shout out my mama and Image98 on Twitch and D1RT Racing. All those guys over there, they're a blast to be a part of. And Base Racing Fuels.
Well, good deal. Well, Paul, you have a great night. It's always a joy chatting with you. And like I said, I look forward to seeing you hopefully next week.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's more or less going to wrap it up here for our production. Thanks for tuning in. Again, like I said, the round 9 at Bark River for the 2021 Summer Series, that Pro 4 Series, is going to be Wednesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time. So be sure to tune in on that. That's going to be streamed on the iRacing Short Course YouTube channel. Same place you're watching this stream here. And with that, I want to thank you all. Have a wonderful evening.